What if there was a lake so dangerous, so mysterious, that it could turn living creatures into stone-like statues? Not in a fairy tale, not in Greek mythology, but right here on Earth. Welcome to FactLabX, the channel where we explore the strangest what-if questions of our universe. Today we're plunging into one of the deadliest lakes on the planet, a place so toxic it can preserve animals like mummies. This is the terrifying story of Lake Natron. So, what if you fell into it? Part 1. The deadly mystery of Lake Natron. To understand why this lake is so unique, we first need to look at where it is. Lake Natron lies in northern Tanzania, in the Great Rift Valley of East Africa. It stretches 57 kilometers long and 22 kilometers wide, but its shallow waters rarely go deeper than 3 meters. Unlike normal lakes, Natron doesn't drain into rivers or oceans. Instead, it traps rainwater and minerals from the surrounding desert. Over time, all that water evaporates under the blistering African heat, leaving behind a concentrated chemical soup. But here's the deadly twist. Lake Natron sits right next to an active volcano called Oldoinyo Lengai. This volcano doesn't release the usual black basalt lava. Instead, it spews out a rare type called nitrocarbonatite lava, rich in sodium and potassium carbonates. When this lava seeps into the lake, it transforms it into a giant pool of alkaline chemicals. In fact, Natron's waters can reach a pH of 10.5 or higher, almost the same as household ammonia. That means it's corrosive enough to burn skin, eyes, and lungs, and this is just the beginning. Part 2. Medusa's curse in real life. You've probably heard the legend of Medusa, a snake-haired monster from Greek mythology who turned anyone who looked at her into stone. Well, Lake Natron is often called a real-life Medusa because animals that fall into its waters are often found calcified, preserved like statues. Photographer Nick Brandt captured this eerie phenomenon in 2013. During the dry season, he discovered birds and bats perfectly preserved in hardened stone-like forms. They looked like eerie sculptures, but they were once alive. How does this happen? It's because the lake's chemical mix acts like an instant preservative. The same compounds were once used in ancient Egyptian mummification. If you die in Lake Natron, your body won't decompose normally. Instead, it will harden and remain intact for centuries. Creepy, right? But also fascinating. Part 3. A flamingo paradise? Here's the twist that makes this lake even stranger. Despite its deadly reputation, Lake Natron is full of life, but only for a select few creatures. Every year, millions of lesser flamingos flock to Lake Natron. Why? Because it's the perfect safe haven. Predators can't survive in its toxic waters, but flamingos have evolved to thrive here. Their tough skin and scaly legs protect them from chemical burns. They drink fresh water from nearby springs or geysers, and when desperate, they can even filter out salt using special glands in their noses. Most amazingly, flamingos feed on the toxic algae that flourish in the alkaline lake. For them, Lake Natron is a paradise and a nursery. Over 75% of the world's lesser flamingos hatch their eggs here. So while Lake Natron is deadly for us, for flamingos, it's home sweet home. Part 4. What if you fell in? Let's imagine this. You're standing on the shore of Lake Natron. The water looks strangely beautiful, shimmering red and pink under the African sun. You decide to take a step in. At first, you might think it feels like a warm bath. But depending on the season, the water can reach up to 60-degree Earths, 140-degree Earth, hot enough to cause third-degree burns in under 5 seconds. If you slipped and fell, your skin would begin to sting and burn. Any cuts or scrapes would feel like acid was being poured into them. Your eyes would be on fire from the high alkalinity. Now imagine you got stuck or drowned. Within weeks, your body would begin to calcify. Over time, you'd become a hardened, preserved figure, almost like a statue. Future explorers could find your body centuries later. Hair, clothes, and even organs still intact. It's not instant petrification like Medusa's curse, but it's the closest thing Earth has to it. Part 5. Science behind the stone animals. Let's break this down scientifically. Why do animals become stone in Lake Natron? It's all about alkaline preservation. When a body falls into the lake, The extreme pH prevents bacteria from breaking it down. Meanwhile, the minerals in the water seep into tissues, hardening them like plaster. It's a process similar to mummification. In ancient Egypt, priests used sodium carbonate, known as natron, to preserve bodies for the afterlife. Lake Natron is essentially nature's version of this process, but on a massive scale. So when we say the lake turns animals to stone, we really mean it preserves them in a lifelike, hardened form. Part 6. Real-life survival stories now. Has anyone actually fallen into Lake Natron and survived? Yes. In 2007, a wildlife film crew learned just how deadly this place can be when their helicopter crashed into the lake. The pilot broke his leg. Another passenger fractured a hip, and the waters threatened to burn their skin. Miraculously, one of the survivors crawled to shore and alerted local Maasai tribes. They rushed to help, building makeshift stretchers and saving the crew just in time. If help hadn't arrived, the survivors might not have made it out alive. It's a chilling reminder that Lake Natron isn't just a strange natural wonder. It's a real danger. Part 7. What if the lake dried up? Here's another twist. What if Lake Natron completely dried up? Without its water, the entire flamingo population of East Africa could collapse. Remember, 3 out of 4 lesser flamingos are born here. Lose Natron, and you lose one of the most important breeding grounds on Earth. Not only would flamingos vanish, but the surrounding ecosystem would also be thrown off balance. Predators that rely on flamingos for food would struggle to survive. And one of the world's most unique natural preserves would disappear forever. Part 8. Could humans use it? Believe it or not, humans have tried to harness the power of lakes like Natron. In ancient Egypt, natron was prized for mummification, cleaning, and even medicine. It's also used in making glass and soap. So while you couldn't swim in Lake Natron, scientists see it as a treasure trove of natural chemicals. But any attempt to use the lake comes with extreme risk. Part 9. The bigger picture lake. Natron isn't just a strange lake in Tanzania. It's a symbol of how extreme and adaptable life on Earth can be. For us, it's deadly. But for flamingos, it's the perfect sanctuary. For scientists, it's a window into how life might survive on other planets. In fact, lakes like Natron help researchers understand how life could exist on Mars, where conditions are also salty, alkaline, and extreme. So in a way, Lake Natron is more than a death trap. It's a glimpse into the resilience of life itself. So, would you dare to dip your toes in Lake Natron? Or is this one swim you'd rather avoid? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Earth's deadliest places, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another what-if scenario right here on FactLabX. Remember, the world is full of mysteries, and here at FactLab, we explore the impossible.